Single parents are never really alone in their thoughts. He or she always has to think twice because they're playing two roles, both the dad and the mom at the same time. But what really happens when young people find themselves in these situations, and what really goes around in single parenting? On today's episode, we are discussing single parenting struggles. I'm your host, Yvonne Kadzo. Welcome to the show. Thank you, guys. Karibuni sana. Now, before we even get into the discussion, we went to the streets and we asked few Kenyans what they think about single parenting and everything that surrounds single parenting, and this is what they had to say.
Well, yeah, why not?
I think it depends, because right now I'm not a parent, so definitely I will not be looking for someone who has, because I'd want to be the first one to give him a child.
Yeah, there's no problem with that. As long as you are compatible with each other, there's no problem.
Single parent? Hapana. Juu single parent sasa unapata kuna watoto na unajua sasa mtoto mwenye hujazaa huwezi msaidia sana na roho yako yote, unaona.
Our guest here, we can start with introduction.
My name is Maggie Home. I'm a single mom of an 8-year-old daughter.
Nice.
Yes, and I'm also a makeup artist and a business person.
Nice.
So my name is Faustin Lipuku, and I'm a single dad of a 4-year-old baby. It's called baby Talisha. Most of them know me as Baba Talisha.
Yeah.
So I'm a photographer, I'm a videographer, and I'm also a content creator.
Nice. Thank you for coming. Sir.
Thank you. My name is Nchebere. I am a counseling psychologist. I deal around trauma issues, counseling adolescents and teenagers. Also, I counsel in the area of marriage and family therapy. And generally, I consult on mental wellness.
Yeah, thank you so much for coming. Now, if I can take you guys behind Kidogo, if I can start with Maggie. How did it come for you to be now a single parent?
Personally, I would say I've grown up with both my parents, both my mom and my dad. And my childhood was very toxic, I would say. It's something that I wouldn't want to bring up a child in such an environment. And when I got into a relationship, I was so young, I think I was 20. And at that particular time, I just wanted to run away from where I was from. I wasn't trying to, I wouldn't say it was out of love, but I was just trying to run away from home. Yeah, because it was so toxic, and I don't think I really wanted to be there around. So when I involved myself with my baby daddy and then ended up getting pregnant, we started living together. And I think I didn't know him that well because it wasn't out of understanding each other, who this person is and who I am. And then I was also very young. He was a bit more mature. I think he's 7 years older than me. So after a while, like I think after 2 years, the environment became very toxic, and I would really reflect on what I was going through back at home, the things I've been growing up, seeing myself into. So at that particular time, I was like, I don't think I would want to let my child go back to the same cycle all over again to what it made me who I am, and it brought a lot of fears in so many ways.
On my side, it's quite a sad story.
Yeah.
Then I won't go into details about it. I came to be a single parent because we were as a family. So on 15th of 2020, that is August, that is when we got a road accident. So we got a road accident along Thika Road, just opposite Kenyatta University. So when we got the road accident, the mom to baby Talisha passed on the spot. So and baby Talisha was also left on the road, yani alikuwa vibaya kabisa. So she was not even, she was in coma. So she went back to, we took her to Kenyatta National Hospital when the mom was going to the morgue, that is Kenyatta referral, just at Kenyatta University. So that is when I was left alone, and I was so confused on the road. Same time the mom, the funeral processions and everything, Same time Talisha is also in the
hospital,
in the IC at Kenyatta National Hospital, So in between, at the moment, that is on 2020, at that time, was not really me. It was, actually, if somebody could tell me, like, at the moment I'll be like this, I didn't think I could believe it.
Yeah.
Because I was in shock, and everything was just like upside down, you know. Something that you didn't expect, like
Happening.
say ukiambiwa like you'll not be there tomorrow, yeah?
Yeah.
Like in the next like 5 minutes you won't be there. It's something that you won't even believe, yeah?
Yeah.
So that is how I got myself in that situation. And I really thank God. It's not a choice, yeah?
Yes.
To be a single parent or a single mom or a dad. Yeah.
Mr. Chebere, you see, like just Faustine has just mentioned, during that time when he lost the mother to his wife, he was confused. Now, let's say, for example, as a single parent, you are in a situation where now your partner is not there. Either it's by death or by separation or by whichever means. What is the first thing I should take?
The first thing that should be done is seek psychological help. Unfortunately, in our country, we go for psychological help when we have hit the rock bottom. And there is a lot of stigma, there is a lot of stereotype, there is a lot of lies, there is a lot of myth besides psychological help. Job number one is to restore their mental capabilities back. What the brain does, it goes into a state of freeze. And when the brain goes in a freeze, it then nubs everything. Why? So that it can stop things like shock, things like heart attack, things like confusion that may lead to other complications.
Yes.
Now, when that happens, the person is not themselves. So it is when they come and they're given the moment to let it out, then slowly by slowly, and senses, realization, awareness start coming through by and by. So the first thing that I would request is to seek psychological help. If the person is not hurt and if they are complete, like Faustine now, the first thing that he should have done is to seek help.
Now, when you tell us that the first step is to speak and find someone to talk to, should I just go to anyone, maybe a friend, or should I seek, it has to be a professional?
A professional. But it is
And why?
good. I'll come to that. It's good to also state that in every profession, there are quacks.
Yes.
So even in your profession, there are.
Yeah.
So in our still, there are quacks. Professionally, I am trained to enter into the shoes of my client, feel their pain, understand what they are going through, then be able to assist them, see the other side of life, because the brain is not functioning normally.
Yeah.
Because any trauma stops the brain from its normal functioning.
Function.
Then you ask the question, why should they do that? Our brains are not made to deal with distress. They are created by God to deal with eustress. Now, eustress is the normal stresses. You've woken up, you don't have this and that, you don't have this. You can deal with that. Now, that is what our brains deal with.
Yeah.
Distress causes trauma, causes dysfunctionality. And within that time, then people can do more harm to themselves.
Yeah.
That's the reason why they should seek help.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Now, you see, as young people, this thing has happened. You find yourself in a position that you are. Let's say, for example, Maggie, would you be open in dating now?
I would say yes, but a lot of fear is always involved in it. In the sense of if I get married and have other kids, how will this man treat the first one? You know, like you're just scared. And then another thing is that you're scared in the sense of, will you start having arguments of, this child wants to go and see their dad. You understand? You're also scared of, what about if this child grows up to be maybe even a teenager or something of that sort, and then maybe they're like, I don't want this environment, I prefer my dad's side, you know, and like I don't prefer this man, and you're like, am I really ready to handle all this? And then I feel it's just fear.
Yeah.
I would really be open, but I think that is what most of the things which hold me back.
Faustine, on your side, would you be open to dating? Yeah.
So as for me, yeah, I'm open to dating. Yeah? Like in case one day I'll be ready to bring another person into my life, keeping in mind I have a daughter. Yeah?
Yes.
And at this moment, even Alicia, when we normally sit together, she can remember her mom, but she really don't know where the mom went to, because she yakumbuki anything. Anajua tu milka, anaitanga tu milka, you know. Fears ziko vile amesema, and it's really tough. But then you have to pray to God.
Yeah.
In everything you have to pray because in case you want a good thing, God will always bring a good thing in our way.
Mr. Nchebere, you see, whatever they are saying, the fears that they are saying, it's not only them. I believe so many other single parents will always have either same fears or even more fears than what they have. Now, as a single parent, and I'm young, should I set a timeline? Like, until my daughter or son is 10 years, it's when I will date or think about settling down, or until maybe if she's 2 weeks, we are good to go?
That would be, I would say yes and no. No, because suppose you got the right person and the chemistry and things are working and you've got the time limit, then it seems you've already closed yourself.
Oh, okay.
Yes, you first of all, like the Yavo said, like she said, she has to consider our daughter.
Yeah.
Suppose the person who comes in, the child creates total resentment against the person. You see, that relationship again will have a lot of issues.
Yeah.
I'll pick a case again. Our daughter, as a father who is present, who she goes visiting, this other person who is coming, how will this transition be made?
Okay.
The nature of human being is a bit jealous. So when this child goes, so when you have to look at all these things, put them into an analytical process, and then make sober decisions.
Yeah.
I will say, like you said, we are product of our own decisions.
Yes.
So you have to make decisions very well. But I don't agree with our fears. But maybe.
But it's something you should
It's
consider.
necessary.
We are taking a short break and we will be right back.
Tomorrow on She.
What triggered you to start?
I thought about my retirement plan. Where would I like to be in my old age?
The younger generation don't really like farming, but then we want to tell our kids to farm more. We want to show your kid that this is where your skuma is coming from, this is where your spinach is coming from.
And I do believe that farming, as it was done by our parents and our grandparents, good as it was, there's a need to take it to the next level.
We are going to be looking at women in farming.
It's tomorrow at 8:30 p.m.
Welcome back to The Corner. And before we went on a break, we were speaking on how, before a single parent gets into a relationship, there are things that, they want to consider and all that. Now, Mr. Chebere, there is this single by choice.
Yes.
A young person finds themselves, they're single parenting and they're like, your chapter tumefunga. That is, what are some of the factors that can lead someone to, block that?
The greatest one is trauma. The experiences one goes through determine what decisions they will take. For example, if the trauma was so painful and they have not processed it again, then they don't have the ability to look at the world in a different eye. So if it's a lady, they have a problem with all men. If it's a man, he has a problem with all women. That is a person who has not processed, that's a person who has not been assisted to deal with their trauma. Now, the unfortunate thing about trauma, if it is not dealt with, it doesn't go away.
To still manifest.
It is only hidden somewhere, waiting for a trigger.
Okay.
And the moment the trigger happens, then you have the current problem, the previous trauma put together, and that's now the explosion.
Yeah.
Now, that's one of the major problems that make someone to create a barrier. But ideally, I would say an experience with one individual doesn't mean it will be the same experience with the other individual. So it is not okay to just decide, I will not get married, because marriage is good.
Yeah. Yeah. Back to our guest, being in this journey of being a single parent, if we can start with Maggie, what are maybe some of the challenges that you have faced along the way in being a single parent?
I would say maybe your child asking you questions which are a bit tricky. Like now, considering like my daughter, she will say, when am I having a baby brother?
Oh,
when am I having?
Okay. Yeah.
When are we having a new dad? At least she now, I think she's now a bit bigger. She understands these people are not together. So she's like, Mommy, are we ever going to have a new daddy? So like so I always tell her, you know what? not now, but when it happens, we have to wait. We have to be patient until God provides that person.
Yes.
But right now, we need just to enjoy our time and be happy. Like, we shouldn't make it really a focus to eat, and we forget the bond between me and you and the happiness that we have right now. But let's just pray about it. So we always just pray about it, and we're like, you know what, God, please.
It will happen.
You know, in social media, we have a lot of parents,
Yeah.
and we have social media parents, So, like, whatever you do to a kid, you want me to do to my kid, you know, the way I treat my kid. It's like we have a lot of parents on social media, experts. So that is one of the biggest challenge I have some of the time. It's like, don't do this to her. You know, try to do this. Try to find somebody. You know, like work. Sometimes when I go to work, it's quite hard because when I don't have somebody who can live her with him or her, inakuanga shida sana. Unapata mostly my friends. I really don't have a very big. But my surrounding is so small, my circle is so small, So like I have like around 5 friends, and both of them are all male, So like sometimes you leave them with them. I don't have a lot of challenges, maybe ni stress tu sometimes kujitakia, unaona.
Stress ya kujitakia.
Like at least madangi kuwa the mom was kama angekuwa sahi, at least akengekuwa kanafanya hivi ama kengekuwa
Mr. Chebere, just like what Faustine has mentioned, we have so many parent experts on social media. We have all these outside voices that most likely they would want to give their opinion on single parents. Either it's a lady or a man. They will always want to say, you know, you're supposed to do A, B, C, and D. Now, how can a young person deal with these all outside voices?
Thank you. One of the things is the person to have its own or her own identity. Identity comes along with self-awareness and an understanding of yourself. A concept about you. There is no one-fit-all kind of parenting. The way I was parented and the way I am parenting are totally different. Our times and the times of my children are totally different. There is no way we will keep these experts and advisors and people who know it all. They will still remain there. What constitutes me? What makes me? Or what makes that young or that single parent? It's very important for the parent to be able to deal with the experts and the questions that come along. The other thing is how purposeful. I find sometimes parents very undecided. Parenting is a very purposeful, intentional business. You just can't be called a parent. You have to plan, you have to think, you have to implement, you have to do so many things in as far as bringing up that child is concerned. So is the young single parent purposeful? Are they so committed to the well-being and the welfare of their child? When they do that, I think it will be easy for them to overcome this. Of course, I am holding away all the stigma, all the stereotype of the society. I'm assuming that they are living in a world that is okay. That's my assumption. You know? So when they have that, then it becomes a little bit less disturbing. And I'll pick from Faustine. Sometimes stress is not as much as that. Ingine ni ya kujitakia tu. So you need to be able to know, this is what I'm faced with. In reality, what is my problem? When you are able to separate ideal and reality, then it becomes easy for you as a parent. Because that time you will face the situation squarely and you'll be able to deal with it.
You see, the society always has something to say about anything and anyone. Generally, how do you think the society views single parents, especially if they are young?
I would say they're very judgmental. Like for his case, it wouldn't be that judgmental. But maybe for my case, it would be judgmental. You know, she couldn't be able to keep her marriage. She couldn't be able to do this and this. She couldn't be able to do this and this. And sometimes, you know, like even it can be in regards even to the partner you are with, yeah? You see, you're still single. You see me, I moved on. You know, like even, they will still even try and beat you up with your own, with your own, the challenges that you're even going with. And they can even challenge, you know what, I'm a better parent more than you. I'm doing this better than this and this. And as you said, sometimes you just have to block the outside what he's trying to tell you. Just know what you're doing and understand. When it comes to my daughter, I feel I'm really a good parent, and she also shows that. She's very affectionate. I would come back home and she's very artistic as well, so she would draw cards and tell me how much she loves me. Mom, be positive. I love you. I miss you. Go out there, shine. And I'm like, wow, I'm doing good, you know. So even though somebody else tells me, you know what, Maggie, like my baby dad always tell me when we have issues and we're arguing about something, a decision we need to make, and he'll be like, do you know I'm really a good parent more than you?
Okay, that comparison.
Comparison.
Thing, yeah.
You don't do this better. I can do this better than you. I can do this and this and this. So I'm like, oh. So when I come back home and then my daughter, like, you know, like you're trying to look for an approval, but then she just gives you for free.
Yeah.
Mommy, you're the best. Mommy, this and this and this.
Yeah.
And it just makes me feel fulfilled and that I'm doing a good job, and I keep on pushing just to make sure I'm a present parent.
Yeah. Faustine, what would you say are, you know, the stereotypes that surround single parents?
People talk, and you can't stop them from talking. People have different opinions. Some are positive, some are negative. Society views men most of the time, ndio utoroka wanaenda. Like in my case, mtu mwingine angebaki huyo mtoto sasa angekuwa kushago. Na mama, mashosho. But then as for me, I chose to at least stay with her, be with her. At least give her my everything, you know. So at least kuna mtu kwa society ataona, if Baba Talisha can do this and that, kwa hiyo age yake, sasa hiyo mtoto ako hivi na hivi, at least 1 or 2% will have that good impression, At least you have some people who
good
can,
values.
Don't be that kind like, oh, society maamu uko hivi, that picture yako ni mbaya hivi, then wacha pia mimi niko hivi mbaya. Be that good portion of, at least that 1, 2, 3 people your society inaweza kuwa nakumbuka, hata kama ilikuwa hivi.
There is that guilt sometimes a single parent may feel. You know, may say, am I really doing enough for my son or my daughter? How can we deal with that guilt?
Even parents who are together, they still suffer that problem. Are we doing the right thing? Are we raising our daughter the best way? Are we following the best practices? Are we living according to what we want as a family? So, self-doubt is a problem most of the time we acquire from childhood. So, I will advise them, go back to your childhood. Like Maggie said, she grew up in a toxic environment. Simple. Maggie, you need to deal with your childhood. Once you eliminate the doubt, the voices, these voices sometimes are your past experiences. It is not the current situation. When you eliminate that, then it becomes easy to parent. I believe even normal people always go that. That's a function of living. So it is okay. I don't think they need to worry about that. Like Maggie said, she knows she has a relationship with her daughter. Faustina said, it's okay as a father. Therefore, they should limit their worries and then focus into the work, which is raising the children.
I would really like to comment on that. I would really say what he's saying is really true, because for me, I knew it was about the trauma back behind the things which I wouldn't want to repeat the same cycles to my child. And you really have to face them. You know, sometimes you have to even sit down and question your parent, you know what, I didn't like this. And you might even disagree, because my mom will say, you know, you're just talking. I'm like, no, mom, you know, right now I'm an adult. We are grown up, but let me tell you the things that you didn't do right. You didn't do this right. You didn't do this right. You didn't do this, that. Dad, you didn't do this. You don't have to agree with me. I still love you. I still appreciate you. But that are some things that you guys missed a lot in bringing us up. And right now, if it needs me to safeguard my daughter to any environment which is toxic, or to anyone, whether it's a family member, a friend, I will do that, because you just want the right environment for your child to grow up in.
Yeah. And before we wind up, if I may ask, when a single parent decides to get into a relationship, Mr. Jabere, who is responsible in making sure that the child and the step-parent have a good relationship?
Both of them. But first of all, we will put the responsibility to the one with the child. If it's a lady, then they should be aware. Is the relationship really, really serious?
Yeah.
I would not advise any lady who has a boyfriend, they just take them to their children.
Yes.
You're already confusing the child. If it's a man, the same. Safeguard the child. So the boundary should be made by the single parent so that they are sure that this is going somewhere. And then when that happens, then they should allow slowly by slowly, seamlessly for the relation, be if it's a lady, the man and the child. Because the man is coming already. If I would take both of them, if I start with Faustin, the lady Faustin will date will not only join in as a girlfriend, she will join in as a mother too. Because there is Tanasha. Tanisha, sorry. So the lady is being dated and at the same time she is already a mother because she has already a child, even if it's on a step point of view. So that bond must be protected by the parent and slowly allowed for them to join slowly so that it cannot have problems. It can go positive or it can become negative.
Any last advice that you'd give to a single parent out there, Faustin?
As for me, to any single parent, then we have a lot of single parents out here. As for me, make your child your first priority, and have that zeal to make her life good at least. Then let her not feel like there's something missing. As for me, I try my best to do everything. I sacrifice a lot sometimes. We go through a lot, by the way. Some we can't even say, but we go through a lot, and it's just sometimes sometimes kitina matter nile how you are raised,
Yes.
As for me, even I didn't experience some things from my parents, but then I'm still doing the same things to some things that they didn't do to my kid, So as for me, just, who are very good parent, be a role model to that kid,
Maggie, advice to single parents out there?
I would say be sober, make right decisions, which are not only just for yourself, but also for your child. Don't also be selfish. I've had a lot of single moms who even refuse the child to see the dad. And though you people are not together, try and at least make sure that relationship is there, regardless of the disagreements, regardless of the anger that you have towards this person.
Mr. Chibere, last advice to single parents out there?
I will tell them it is not a crime to be a single parent. Putting into consideration so many factors. It can be natural calamity. It can be you can't work together. So they should not view themselves as outcasts. They should not see themselves as failures. They should not see themselves as easy social misfits. All these form of things, they should realize that it wasn't happening. And we have so many who have had a second chance and they are doing well in their current relationships or marriages after the first one failed. So the point is, what happened? If you're able to analyze and know what happened and learn from the mistakes, what lessons do you get? Then it is easy to focus forward. So it is not a crime to be a single parent.
Well, thank you so much for coming. To our viewers, thank you so much for watching back at home. At the end of the day, being a single parent, it's not the end of the journey. At the end of the day, we need to ask God guidance. And, things happen. Just like our psychologist said today, there's second chances for everyone. So let us embrace each one of us and let us keep God first, because at the end of the day, if we put God first, everything will be fine. Thank you so much for watching. This has been The Corner. I'm your host, Yvonne Kadzo.